Hello, my YouTube family. It is so good to see you all today and be with you in spirit. Please make sure that you like and you subscribe and you share because we're going to be talking about some really important things today. And I'm going to try to do it in 12 to 15 minutes because I know that y'all are busy and you have lives to live, and so I'm going to try to consume it into a short little package today. Welcome to Gretchen's Guidance. This is day 27, and we're going to talk about how exactly pride is hindering you from your purpose, how it is keeping you, how you are stepping into your own way. We're going to talk about how you need to get out of your way so that you can enjoy life to your fullest, at your highest level, at your highest potential, right? Doing what God wants you to do. You are God's vessel, right? And you cannot be God's vessel with pride. He cannot bless you by being his vessel if you are full of pride. Because when we are good to him, when he can trust us to be his vessel, then he blesses us. And he cannot trust us to be his vessel if we are full of pride. So we're going to try to get rid of some of that pride today. I'm going to do this because I haven't done this for my last 3 videos, even though it's always sitting right here beside me. Stir up love today. We got to get rid of pride and we got to stir up some love. Okay? So we have talked about pride in the past, and we have talked about how pride is basically thinking of yourself. It's putting yourself first, and we have talked about how there's 30 manifestations of pride, and we have talked about several different types of pride. So this is basically what happens. Let me find this picture here real fast. When we are dealing with pride, here's a visual description. It's basically everything is about you and everything kind of goes around you, right? But when you get rid of that pride, you get rid of that self, that exaltation of self, right? The only thing that we should be exalting is Christ and Jesus and the kingdom of God. That's the only thing we should be exalting. We should not be exalting ourselves. And that is what pride is. So some people think that it's just something small. It's just something petty. But it can actually hinder you from living your best life. Okay. So the prides that we have discussed, I've got marked off already. So, but what we are going to talk about today are some prides that we have not discussed yet. Okay? So one pride is, and this is kind of cool because we just saw, well, I didn't watch it, but some of you might have watched the Super Bowl a while back. And it actually, this pride has to do with the Super Bowl. And I want to see if you know what I'm talking about. So one pride is using attention-getting tactics, okay? So pride is trying to get attention. I think it's easy to consider that with children. When children are having a fit in the grocery store and they're trying to get attention to get what they want, I think it's easy to look at it that way, but adults can be just like that too. And it can really hinder you from getting to your highest level, which hinders you from achieving your purpose. So, using attention-getting tactics. This is what it says. Proud people may try to draw attention to themselves through dress, bizarre behavior, being rebellious, always talking about their problems, etc. And this comes from 1 Peter chapter 3, verses 3 through 4. Okay? So trying to get attention can actually be pride. Now, I'm a very bubbly person, a very energetic, high energy person. And so I am constantly trying to down myself a notch. I am constantly trying to say, Lord, humble me, make me silent. So the Lord has really been working on me to try to be more silent. And I don't mean by making YouTube videos, because it wouldn't go very well if I just got on here and was silent. He doesn't want me to be silent talking about him, right? But he wants me to be more silent when it comes to defending myself and how I respond to people, right? Now that I am more like-minded of Christ, now that I'm stepping out into his world instead of being in my world, he is telling me to be more silent. There's a lot of stuff that I just don't need to worry about, right? Because it's just not worth my energy. But there are also people who try really hard to get attention. And I was thinking about, I saw the quarterback, for the 49ers. I think that's who it was. I don't know, but one of the players after the game was talking to someone, and he was looking into the crowd, and he was clearly, you could tell by the look on his face, he was doing nothing but trying to get attention. And I know football players can do that, and everything, but even if you're a football player, you're still a child of God, and you're still, you can still struggle with pride. So I was like, he's just sitting here trying to get attention. And it was discouraging to watch. I didn't have the game on. I saw it actually on YouTube or somewhere, Google or somewhere on a video, and I quickly changed it because it was discouraging. So sometimes adults can use those attention getter tactics. And sometimes I really feel like women hurt other women in this way sometimes, because they get on YouTube and what do they say? The easiest way to find an insecure woman is the one that is showing her cleavage. And they say that, if a woman shows her cleavage, which, I can't really say, because maybe I would if I had a bunch. I don't know. But they say women that show their cleavage are very insecure. That's a great way to tell if someone is insecure or not, or if they're struggling with a lot of pride. And I think a lot of women are getting on social media with hardly any clothes on and for attention. But what kind of attention do you want? What kind of attention are you going to get if you're getting on YouTube and you've got your booty hanging out and you've got your chest hanging out? Is that the kind of attention that you want? So let's think about how this is hindering you. You could be on a date with a really nice gentleman instead of posting naked pictures on Instagram, right? And so this is how it hinders you from being your highest self, your highest level, your full potential onto what your purpose is. Okay, so another pride is, I love this one, okay, is not having close relationships, okay? That is a manifestation of pride. Would you ever think that not having close relationships is a manifestation of pride? It says, proud people often have no use for close relationships, thinking that the trouble outweighs the benefits. They may see themselves as so self-sufficient that they do not need other people. Proverbs chapter 18, verses 1 through 2, Hebrews 10, chapter 10, verses 24 to 45. That is also a sign of pride, okay? And God designed us to connect to people. I told y'all the other day that I'm very content in my relationship with God, but I also know that God says that he wants me to connect with people on a daily basis, because that's the way you can help and serve him and be a servant to him, is with other like-minded Christians. So I know that's his desire for me, is to connect with other people. And I think it's really, this day and age that we live in, where they've done research on loneliness, on how loneliness is so much higher than it's ever been, especially in comparison to like the 1950s, where there were families that lived together on the same street, and sometimes the grandmother lived with the family, and if the grandfather was no longer living. So that with the dynamics of the way people are separate is, really, makes it hard for us to battle loneliness. And I think a lot of people are so busy, right? We work, we take care of our kids. You know, our to-do list is so long, and a lot of it is just wasting time looking at our phone, right? So our society is set up now in a way where it is hard to find time to reach out to people and call them and talk to them on the phone and go hang out with them because you've been looking at your phone for 2 hours. So now you miss the opportunity to call someone, right? So that can also really be a deterrent in our society today. So we have to make sure that even though we might think that we don't need people because we have our phone, or, you know, I can spend time on Facebook and I'll get entertained and get connection that way, which it is great to do that. I love to see my family that is across the United States on social media, and I love that part. But I also know that God designed us to face look at a person, hug a person, look them in the eye, talk to them, and spend time with them, and that we need that. They need that from us. We need that connection. And so that is a pride, feeling like you don't need other people. Okay, so the pride we talked about before was trying to get attention either by the way you're dressing, bizarre behavior, the way that you're acting. And then also another one is thinking that you don't need relationships can also be a pride. And, you know, think about it. What if that relationship that you're in, and I'm not necessarily meaning like a loving relationship, I might mean like a friendship relationship. What if that relationship is going to bring you to your purpose? You know, that you're not being a part of, that you're choosing to not be a part of. Because it's usually people that help you to get to the level that you want to be at. So it can also really hinder you from getting to where you need to be with your purpose. Okay, so, and I want to share a story too about the attention getting tactics. I can think about a time, a long time ago when I was teaching, and we used to have pep rallies at this school to congratulate children for their successes. And it was a really nice time. In the gym, the whole school would come, and the sweet teacher would make stickers for the kids, and some parents would come, and we'd clap for them, and they would stand up if they made honor roll and all these other things. And the pep rallies were really about the kids. Well, this one year we had a principal that was new, and for the pep rally, the whole pep rally went around the fact that she was going to do cartwheels and she was going to do cheerleading stunts, even though she was way past the age of doing things like that. And so it wasn't blessed, because the more she talked about it, the more was taken away from the children and it being the focus of the children, where it was really her insecurities that needed that type of attention for her doing that at the pep rally. And it was probably the worst pep rally that we've ever had. And actually she fell, and it was just bad. And so sometimes we want to take that attention and put it on ourselves. And that is so prideful. So maybe some of you can relate to that story as well. Maybe you have some coworkers that try so hard to put the attention on themselves, and it's just very, very frustrating. It's pride. All right. So another one is using others. Proud people usually view others in terms of what those people can do for them and their interests. Their focus is not on ministering to others. Everything is for them and about them. Matthew 7:12, Philippians 2, verses 3 through 4. And this is so true. And I know this is really hard for people that are successful, because they have said, I've heard them say, like, I don't know if someone genuinely likes me or they just want to ride in my nice car, right? And so sometimes this can be really hard. And especially in the Bible, it says close to the end of time that people will be using people for things, and will regard themselves as so high they don't really think about other people's needs. So it says in the Bible this will happen. So I'm seeing it happen, and it was also prophesied in the Bible that it would happen, is that people are using. And you can tell if a person is using you by looking them in the eye. You can, when you're looking in the eye and you're speaking to them, you can tell where the truth lies, right? Their eyes are not going to look right back at you. They're going to be looking around. They're going to seem nervous. So a lot of times you can tell that way. But our job is to tell others about Jesus, right? That's our purpose. And whatever platform, whatever way you can do that, that's what God is going to bless us to do. Okay? And if we're using other people, that hinders us from our purpose. God is not going to bless that. He's going to keep you right where you are. So make sure you're always looking at relationships as, what can I give to this person? What can I give? Not what can I take? What can they give me? What can I give them? Even if they have a lot more money than you, because it doesn't matter, right? Because God looks at our heart. So even if they have more money than you, you're looking at what you can give. Maybe they have a lot of money, but they don't have a relationship of God. And that's what a relationship with God. And that is what is most important. So you are actually going to give them by modeling or discussions, tell them how to have a relationship with God. Show them how to have a relationship with God. And that's better than any type of money, salary thing, material thing. And so always look at relationships as what you can give to that person, not what you can take, not what you can use them for. And then God is going to bless that, right? All right, the last pride I'm going to be, oh gosh, I've been on here 16 minutes. Okay, so the other pride is being impatient or irritable with others. Proud people might become angry with others because they are concerned that their own schedule or plans are being ruined. They are often inflexible on preference issues. Ephesians 4, chapter 4, verses 31 to 32. Okay, so proud people are impatient. They think that their schedule is so important. I have got the best story for this, okay? So I had some people in my life, I don't want to say who they are, and the let's say it was a husband and a wife, okay? And the wife got locked out of the house. And she doesn't sweat. So when she gets really hot, she doesn't perspire, right? And this was in Oklahoma, and it was very hot outside. And she had been doing something, I don't remember exactly, for the husband actually, where she was really hot and felt like she was going to pass out. So he had left to go to a meeting at work, and he had locked the door and locked her outside. Okay, and she went to get the key to get in. This was a long time ago. So this was like before key codes. You just use the key to get in your door, okay? And so he had taken that and he had gone to the meeting. Well, she felt sick. She felt nauseous. She was hot. Like I said, she was doing something outside for him. And he was left and locked her out. And so this was before cell phones, but she went to her neighbor's house and called his work and said, can he run home? And his work was like 5 minutes away from the house. Okay. And she said, I feel really sick. I need to get in the shower and cool down. Can you come home and let me in? You locked me out. Guess what? He said, no, I've got this meeting at work. You have to stay at the neighbor's house until I get home. And he came home like 2 hours later. I just can't believe that story. I still cannot believe that story. But anyway, that is a pride of how that person thinks that, their schedule is so much important when, think about this, she was doing a chore for him outside where she got hot. Maybe it was mowing the yard. I don't remember what it was, but it was something that he had asked her to do, okay? He locks her out of the house. He leaves and locks her out of the house. And then he won't even run home 5 minutes to let her back in. I don't understand that. I just don't. That's just pride. And I don't even want to know what the good Lord did with that situation, because he's not going to bless it. All right. So the prides we talked about today real quickly is we talked about one pride is using attention, getting tactics. That's a pride. And I know y'all know what I'm talking about because it's annoying. All right, not having close relationships, thinking that you don't need people. All right. The third one we talked about was using other people. You look at situations as what you can get from them instead of what you can give them. Okay. And the fourth pride we talked about was being impatient or irritable with others, thinking that your schedule and what you need to do is more important than others. Now, there are times when you have something really important, right? And like you've got to catch an airplane, okay? There are times when there's things like that where there is more intensity of you getting where you need to be. But if you're always irritable and thinking that your schedule is more important than people or more important than changing your schedule for something important that's come up, then that's where you're battling with pride. Okay, so I hope this spoke to you, and I hope that this helped you. And I know that the good Lord put me on here. I wasn't planning on getting on here today because I had my new glasses came in. I'm so excited, and I have a meeting about selling my crafts with someone, and my kids aren't here. So I just took the opportunity. I just said, okay, Lord, what you want me to talk about? And he told me, and I got on here. So I hope it spoke to you. I hope whoever needed to hear this heard this, and I hope that you'll like it and that you'll subscribe to it, because I'm going to talk a little bit more about pride and humility on these last few videos before this series ends. And then if you could also share it so some other people will be able to hear some of these lessons that I've gotten from this book and from God. They're not from me. I'm just sharing them with you because I think they're wonderful. And I will see you soon. All right, bye. Thanks for being here. And remember, stir up love. Stir up love today. Bye-bye.